Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome to the Sky's the Limit Limitless event. Here at Sky's the Limit, our heart is to connect entrepreneurs to mentors, business development, and funding opportunities. And today, we get to hear an amazing conversation from a really cool entrepreneur right here on our platform. But before we get started, I want you to check out this video to see all about Sky's the Limit.
Sky's the Limit is the best asset that has come up in the past year. Since 2021, they have been able to support Raise the Bar investments in capital for our business, allowing us to launch our first book, Holistic Money Mindset, Mental Preparation for Abundance. More importantly, they've provided social capital as well. The network within Sky's the Limit is immaculate. From the fellow entrepreneurs I'm able to connect with all the way to the amazing mentors from amazing organizations across the world. My advice to anyone on the fence about joining Sky's the Limit, just do it. My first 2 weeks on the platform, I was very determined to expose myself to the network and met with over 20 mentors. Now, pretty much everyone on my personal and professional mentor list comes from Sky's the Limit. With that being said, you never know until you try, so go ahead and bet on yourself and your business and get on Sky's the Limit.
That was amazing. Man, I love each event we get to do and every story we get to hear. I'm excited to hear yours next. But for now, get ready for this month's Limitless conversation.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sky's the Limits Limitless episode. We are super excited for today's episode. And so we are going to have a great time today just to get to know more about some inspiring entrepreneurs on our platform that are doing amazing things in their community as well as in the marketplace. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we have today's guest is Sky's the Limit founder and entrepreneur, Jonathan Makonnen from UNFAZED. UNFAZED is a unique streetwear athleisure brand that focuses on empowering all human beings to be their best as often as possible by having a strong, powerful mindset when adversity arises. So everybody, please help me welcome Jonathan Makonnen. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the Limitless episode. We are so excited, super excited for you to be here today and for everybody to hear your story. Are you ready?
Thank you. I'm ready. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and dive in. So what inspired you to start your own business?
Well, it's a couple different reasons. I try to stick to two or three, but originally when I started this brand, I became really conscious about the stuff that I wore, the brands that I wore, whether it be Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Supreme, you name it. I started to think like none of those brands really meant anything in terms of substance. And so I wanted to just kind of start something that one had substance that could motivate people and inspire people and also could reach any individual, no matter who you are, where you come from. And then I started to delve in a little bit deeper and think about, man, all these brands that I see have people that look like me that are the faces and creatives of those brands. And at the end of the day, there's no founders that look like myself. And so I wanted to kind of change the narrative to show that we as Black and brown people or minorities in general can start successful brands and still have that creative aspect to it and not just be someone like a LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or whoever your favorite athlete or entertainer is, just be that face. We also can start something and be a founder. And so that was kind of my initial thought process when I started my brand.
That's amazing. And I love the aspect of having a message that means something. And so meaning something that will be able to expand into so many different categories. And so can you describe for me what UNFAZED means to everybody that's watching?
Yeah, so I'm actually wearing my number one design, and that's kind of how I've been able to get a lot of traction up to this point. But so I have my own personal definition of unfazed, which is having a mindset that no matter what obstacles you encounter, you will achieve success or overcome adversity. And so when I think about being unfazed, I feel like we all have pitfalls and roadblocks that we go through. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, but the common denominator to overcoming adversity or a tough situation is your mindset to not quit. And basically that's what unfazed is. You identify that something is in your way, but then you don't let it stop you. So for me, I came up with my own personal definition. But just to keep it short and simple, you keep going when adversity comes your way, and that's the only way that you're able to make it.
Honestly, I love that so much about your brand. That's why, listen, I have my UNFAZED shirt on today.
Yes,
I
yes,
totally
big
wear it
supporter.
because sometimes life will be lifing, as I say. You're like,
Absolutely.
you know what? I'm gonna keep on moving. So I love message shirts ultimately. And when you first introduced us to it, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go get me one.
And you bought it immediately, so I'm thankful. And that's what I love when I get a chance to just talk to people, and they hear about it the first time. When they buy something immediately, and it's not all about buying it, you can just adopt the mindset. But when someone purchases and spends their hard-earned money right away, that lets me know that I was able to convey that message and it really hit home with that individual. So wanted to give you a quick shout out. I appreciate you making that purchase immediately after speaking the first time.
I tell you, I'm gonna go buy a shirt. That's one thing. Because honestly, this whole pandemic has me in athleisure all the time. So I was like, I'm gonna get one. So absolutely. So that is such a great message. And so what keeps you motivated day to day to keep working on your business?
Wow. You kind of like you said it indirectly without even knowing, like, especially during the pandemic, we've all experienced something that we've never experienced before. And so there's a lot of uncertainty that we went through. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? What is our life going to be like after the pandemic? And so that's kind of where Unfazed comes into play. It's like, how am I going to be able to continue to get this message out to people that all you can do is control what you can control? And so that's always going to be a constant with the brand. And that's what I love about the brand. There is no expiration date, as I say, with the brand. Like, we are going to continuously go through things in our daily lives, no matter how big or small it is. That drives me to know that this brand's going to be around. I can make an impact on as many people as I come across. And as the brand continues to grow, I'll be able to just make this a global brand. That inspires me, as well as just being able to potentially put my family in a situation to where it's generational wealth. I just had a daughter 6 months ago. So my goal is to just be able to embed this mindset in her, but also create a business that can continue to grow as she continues to get older. And one day, hopefully, she may want to take it over.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think what's so inspiring about that is that what you kind of alluded to was the concept of generational wealth, generational mindset shift, generational. So what does that look like for you as you are in your day to day? How are you planning that out? Like, let's get some practical tips for just anybody that watches this. Like, what does that look like for you setting the stage for long term?
Well, first and foremost, for me, it starts with your health. I get up every morning super early, which is why we're having this meeting right now. But I get up around 4:45 now that I have a little girl, and I work out before I start my day. That's just something that has been ingrained in me. I've always been an athlete. I played sports growing up, played college football, and just being able to start my day and work out is at the top of the list, because that helps my mental, and that allows me to be able to think for the future. Because if I don't get my mind going and get a workout in, then I feel like the wheels start turning and it gets off track. And so that's how I'm able to kind of focus and then set plans accordingly. So just making sure that my mental and my health is perfect, or up to the standard that I would like for it to be. And then as I go from there, that's when I start to focus on setting a plan and then being able to actually, quote unquote, work on the brand, and then be able to do things in my personal life or do things that I feel like aren't related to the brand in my day-to-day life.
Awesome. And you know what? We really, as a whole, like nation, really need to focus definitely on our health and just kind of preparing ourselves, especially mentally, for our days with everything going on. We really need to. So I thank you for highlighting that, because that is definitely something
Absolutely.
we really need to get better at taking care of ourselves first.
Right. That's priority number one.
Stretch out to anything else. So that's awesome. So with your business, is there any challenges, or what's one challenge you faced and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I don't call this a challenge. It was a temporary setback, and I think everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna kind of get deeper on you real quick. So started the brand in 2016 while living in Texas. I'm originally from the Bay Area. I'm back in California now, but I wanted to really kind of take my brand seriously in around 2018 and move back home in the Bay, because I wanted to make an impact on my community and be kind of a face, a positive face in my community. That I felt like there weren't a lot of people that looked like myself that were positive role models, and still grow my brand. So I had made the choice to move back to California and told my boss and everything that I was going to move back. Super supportive boss. And he was just like, cool, I support you. And then a few weeks later, ended up getting diagnosed with colon cancer. And then as that information was delivered to me, I ended up having the surgery to have the cancer removed. And that put a hold on my business and being able to take that leap of faith and move back home. But the blessing in disguise for me, which is kind of the good thing that came out of the situation, besides going through and getting the cancer removed and just being more knowledgeable about that situation, is that my dad had come to visit me in California, where he lived in Arizona. And one day he was mowing the lawn. Long story short, he came in and was out of breath and had to have emergency triple bypass surgery. And so if he wasn't able to come visit me, then he probably would not be here today, because he was going to Ethiopia, which is where he's from, which is an extremely long flight, and his heart would not have made it on that 18-hour plus flight. So that was kind of a struggle for me, but I found the positive inside of a negative situation. So that setback or challenge was, I wanted to quit my job and take the leap of faith, but God had a different plan and said, look, you got diagnosed with this, you know, figure it out. And then my dad was able to identify his health situation and get that corrected. And now that challenge has allowed me to keep pushing forward with the business. And that gave me the thought process that, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because when I was diagnosed, I still initially had that unfazed mindset. And that let me know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because I didn't even think twice about when I was given that information.
My goodness. I know when you shared this story with me before, I was just so inspired by you, that the way that you looked at somebody that would, anybody that didn't have your mindset would have looked at that situation as the doors closed. And
Right.
You saw it as an opportunity for you to be like, you know what, this gives my brand a whole nother elevation. And it also gives me a different mindset. And that's what's so beautiful about Unfazed. It's that you took something that if anybody else probably would have freaked out, right? Normally. Yeah. And you were like, okay, no, this is just a bigger purpose that I had. And we're so grateful that you're still here and still kicking it. And you have a beautiful baby girl. And it's just like, that is such a beautiful miracle story of like how you have to stay in purpose with what you know is supposed to happen in this marketplace, in this world. And for you, it's not just like you said, it wasn't just a business, it's a brand, it's a mindset. So I'm just so grateful that you're here with us and still tell the story, and with your father as well. I didn't even realize about that. So that is such an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I mean, we just have to understand that if we just sit back and look at whatever negative is going on, you have to try to find the positive somehow. Because if we dwell on the negative and we just think everything bad all the time, then that's when things kind of spiral out of control and you kind of go to the extreme. So I'm not saying that it's easy, but if you consciously think about it more often than not, then you'll have a positive reaction to whatever you're being faced with.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. He's dropping gems. I hope you guys are taking notes. Okay. So with that, because you are so wise and so full of so much knowledge that you've learned along the way, how have mentors and other entrepreneurs played a role in moving your business forward?
Yeah. So entrepreneurs as a whole, I've looked at entrepreneurs, whether it's videos, whether it's following them on social media, that's always been kind of my motivation, to see someone from afar, in terms of just being able to see their success, seeing what their do's and don'ts are. And then just having mentors and finding people who have an ability to help you in certain aspects that you wouldn't have the access to, which is why Sky's the Limit is so important to me. You have so many different opportunities to reach mentors and people who have a specific knowledge in a space that you don't have that access to. And that has been tremendous up to this point, which is actually motivating and encouraging, because I haven't necessarily been on Sky's the Limit that long. So I know the more time that I'm able to be on the platform and connect, the more information I'm going to have that's going to help with my business moving forward.
Absolutely. And I honestly, he came in swinging, everyone. Like, he was like, okay, I'm here on the platform. I'm going to use it and figure out what I need. And he's here in Limitless. And he's just been in here a few months or so, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the whole concept of the ecosystem of Sky's the Limit, is like, you get in here, you use whatever resources, whether it's finding a mentor, finding other partners that you can network with, as well as just, all the resources that we have to offer, depending on what stage, no matter what stage you're on, you can find something useful here. And so he's a big, perfect example of that. And I recommend, if you're not on Sky's the Limit, please join, please connect with the mentor, connect with us on the member experience team. We'll show you the way, but honestly, that is what the ecosystem is all about. So shout out to our partners, our mentors, and all the Sky's the Limit community that is involved. We thank you so much for being a part of us. Okay, so I know this is like, you've given us so much. And so I just want to close it out with one final question, and you can feel free to share however you want, but any words of wisdom or inspiration that you can give to someone just starting out.
It's going to be tough when you're starting out. It doesn't matter what part of the journey you're on, it's going to be tough. But the biggest thing that I always ask myself when it does get tough is this my passion or is this my job? And when I think about that question, it's always my passion, because it never feels like a job to me. As I've alluded to earlier, it's just like all these different situations and the opportunities that I see out there give me the hope and the inspiration to know that I can make this be as big as I want it to be. And you need to ask yourself that when you're starting out on your entrepreneur journey. Do you feel like this is a job, or do you have a passion for this? I see so many opportunities with my brand on social media. There's over 50 million mentions of hashtag UNFAZED on TikTok and over 35,000 on Instagram. So that lets me know that there's so many people out there who are utilizing the word organically that I have the opportunity to touch. And so whatever it is that your business is, or you're thinking about starting a business in, make sure that it's something that you could do it 24/7, 365, and not get tired of it. So that's the biggest thing that I can kind of recommend to someone starting out on their journey. It has to be a passion. It can't just be a hobby, because hobbies end up being something that you get bored with. And so that's the best advice I could give to someone.
And that's a golden nugget there. A lot of people are starting businesses as just because versus having a passion. And you just nailed it on the head. Is this my passion or my job? And that is a nugget that is going to last and sustain past time, because a lot of times that's what gets burnout happening and so many different things. But because you're passionate about it, you'll keep going. You may pick it up and pick back up, but at least you're passionate about it.
Right. Absolutely.
So we want to just say thank you so much, Jonathan, for being on Sky's the Limit's Limitless episode. I know everybody who watches this is going to be inspired by your story and your testimony. And I just can't wait to see all that you do and continue to drive your business unfazed. So thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm always excited to be able to share my story, but I'm also excited to hear other people's story, because We all have a story to tell, and it's just a matter of us having the opportunity to tell it. And I know you guys have so many other people that you could have chosen for this opportunity to speak, and I'm appreciative of you to share your support, and Lauren and all the other mentors that I've been able to come across up to this point. So sky is the limit, as cliche as it sounds, for my business, and I look forward to being able to connect with many of you in the future.
Thank you, Jonathan. And actually, one last thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to say this. Where can everyone find you? Where are you located? What can they do to support you?
So everything is pretty consistent in terms of being able to follow me on all social media platforms at Official Unfazed, OFFICIALUNFAZED. And then my website is officialunfazed.com. So if anybody wants to follow me, look on any platform, Official Unfazed, and the website is officialunfazed.com.
Awesome. And make sure you guys go get some type of merch. Okay. It's very comfortable. Just saying.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on Limitless. And we can't wait to see your episode live. And thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Have a great day.
What just happened? Like, I have a notebook full of notes. Like, my head is about to explode. That conversation was amazing. And I'm excited for what it'll do in and through your business. Make sure you stay tapped into all that Sky's the Limit has to offer. Check out the funding tab at the top of your page for every month's family and friend grant. Meet new people, connect with new entrepreneurs, connect with new volunteer mentors. And we can't wait to see you for next month's Limitless Conversation. Deuces.